today we're going to be doing a dumbbell full body workout. That means we're going to be targeting the chest, the back, the arms, the shoulders, and the legs. But we're going to be spending more time focusing on developing the arms and building up larger arms. If you're like me and want to build up more muscles in your biceps, or bigger muscles in your biceps and triceps, you have those big arms, hit that like button to let me know you want more content like this, focusing on building up those arm muscles. This is gonna be a follow along workout. I'll be doing the workout with you. If you have questions, let me know. So the first thing I like to do is I like to do a specific warm up for the exercises we're gonna do. So to do that, I do the same movement, but with a lighter dumbbell. So I normally do this exercise with a 30-pound dumbbell. I'm dropping this down to a 20-pound dumbbell to start out with, just to get some blood flowing into the muscle. So we're gonna start by doing a pair of exercises. One works the chest muscle, and then the other works the lats along with the muscles up here in your back. So the first exercise we're gonna do is a pectoral fly using dumbbells. So I like to do this one laying down on the ground. I have a bench, but I found that it's actually better on my shoulders. I feel like I have more control of the movement laying on the ground. So laying on your back, you're gonna bring your hands right above your shoulders. You don't want the dumbbells to hit together, so only come back to where it's right over the top of your shoulder. From here, we're gonna drop down out to the sides. Try and keep your arms relatively straight. You can have a small bend in your elbow, that's fine, but bring your hands out to the sides to where they're almost touching the ground or just barely tapping the ground, and then back up. You should feel this working your chest muscle. Now for our warm-up, I'm going a light enough dumbbell where I can do about 10 reps and it's not straining the muscle. So if it's too difficult too early, that means you're going too heavy on the dumbbell. The whole goal of this is to get some blood flow into that joint, into that muscle, get it primed and ready to go. It's sort of like warming up your car. You don't want to just go straight from a cold engine straight to slamming on the gas pedal. Same thing with your muscles. We don't want to just go from no activity all the way to full on weightlifting. We want to sort of ease it into this. So that's to reduce the risk of actually injuring yourself, because an injury is the #1 way to slow down your workout progress. We ease into it, we'll do a set with a warm-up weight and then go to our full weight after. So the next exercise is going to be a supported row. Now, I'm gonna use a post. You could easily do this with your hand against a wall as well. So I'm gonna put my hand here for support, and I'm gonna lean forward till my arm is hanging straight down towards the ground. From here, keeping my chest pointed at the ground, I'm gonna pull up to my rib cage, feeling that work the muscles in the back of my shoulder and back of my rib cage. Those lats go all the way from your low back to up into your shoulder, into your arm. I'm trying for about 10 reps of these, keeping my back straight. I like the support of the hand, especially if you have any sort of low back difficulty. It really helps you isolate the lats and not have to worry about what's happening at your low back. And keeping the same number of reps each side. So if I did 10 on one side, I'm gonna do a 10 on the other. I like to shoot for 10 because it's a good balance of strength and endurance. And it's easier for me to remember that the rep count then. Now, if I get to 10 and I'm not quite tired yet, I will go more than 10 because I want to go until that muscle feels tired when I get to my working set. And working sets just mean once we get to the point where we're trying to really build muscle. Right now, we're warming up the muscle. Set, we're going to be trying to go to really push that muscle. So I'm grabbing a heavier dumbbell. I'm gonna go heavy enough where it's tiring by the 10th rep. This is something I see people get wrong, and I've gotten wrong in the past too, is picking the right weight. I've used to, when I first started out, picked the weight that felt tiring on the first rep. So I got through 1 or 2 reps and then I was done. And that's not gonna have the same muscle building effect as if I was able to get 5 or 6 reps or more. So there's actually not a difference between doing 5 reps and 30 reps. Roughly, they grow about the same amount of muscle as long as you are challenging the muscle in the same, to the same degree or in the same way. So the goal is to feel tired by the last rep. So you want to pick a heavy enough dumbbell where you feel tired by the last rep. I'm going straight out to the sides and back in towards the middle. I'm not letting those dumbbells hit together. I'm controlling it through the entire movement. Tap my elbow and then back up. 6, 7, trying for 10 reps. 8, 9, and 10. Now, here's the thing that I used to do different. I used to go until I couldn't do a single more rep, and I found that that actually was so fatiguing to my body. I would get through one set, and that was as far as I could go. I had caused so much fatigue in the first set, the entire rest of the workout just went downhill. What I've started doing now is going about 80, 90. So I get to, let's say if I did 10 reps, I could maybe do 11 or 12 max, but I stop myself at 10, where I'm still able to put more work in, where I keep on going with that workout for a longer time. So instead of running it like a sprint, I run it like a marathon now. And that's actually let me grow more muscle faster. If you think about it, it's like, if you think about it like a race, the goal is to get as far as you can distance-wise. If you run it like a sprint, say you get a quarter of a mile and you're done, or a kilometer and you're done. Math doesn't quite check out on that, but for numbers' sake, as opposed to if you went a little bit slower and you got 2, 3, 4 miles, 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, you actually have generated more muscle in that time, even though you haven't been limited as much by fatigue. So it's just a win-win all the way around to not go quite so close to failure. You still want to challenge the muscle, but you don't want to completely burn it out, especially not on the first set. I'm going here, pulling up to my rib cage, trying to keep my chest point straight at the ground. And same thing on the other side, pulling up to my rib cage and then back down. Oh, there's a couple different grips for this one. I'm doing the standard grip where you point your thumb up towards your head. So there's a grip like this and a grip like this, and it changes what muscle is working a little bit, or it changes the proportion of how those muscles are working. If I was to point my thumb in, I would get more of these muscles up in here and less of the muscles in my back down here. But both are good, it's just what are you wanting to target, excuse me. All right, going for our second set of pectoral fly. The last time we talked about protein and how we don't want to go off that recommended daily RDA number, because it's actually too low, especially if you're doing weightlifting. The other thing that I found really has made a big difference for me is the amount of sleep I get in a night. I used to think, oh, I only need 5-6 hours of sleep in a night. Turns out that's not true. I need more like 7 or 8. And so when I was losing sleep, I'm actually increasing my stress hormones and decreasing my testosterone, which is going to make it so I'm building more fat, losing more muscle, and that's not good. So, plus it's just harder to do everything in the gym when you're tired. For instance, today, woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't get back to sleep. I'm working on about 5 hours of sleep today. It's not good. I'm gonna be taking steps to get better sleep ongoing. I need to go to bed, trying to set myself up to get better sleep, because that's going to be a huge barrier to me actually building muscle. So if that's you, if you're only sleeping 5-6 hours a night and maybe it's low quality sleep on top of that, I'd encourage you try and find ways of going to bed earlier, or making sure you get off your phone, something that's keeping you up, that can help to actually improve the quality of recovery you have, help you in the gym, help you out of the gym, build muscle faster. It's been a big thing for me, is improving my sleep quality. Still working on doing that. It definitely has an impact on your entire nervous system too. Something, if you're low on sleep, the same exercise might feel significantly harder just because your nerves are tired. Muscles also don't recover as quickly if you're low on sleep. A lot of people don't think about that one. I know I didn't. I didn't think about the quality of sleep that I was having. I just knew that I was sore all the time because I was always had aches in my muscles, especially in my teenage years. And I just wasn't sleeping well that entire time. I had terrible insomnia back then. Now it's gotten better, and I'm continuing to work on that. I found for me, personally, I started taking a magnesium supplement, and that helped improve my sleep quality dramatically. That may work for you, may not. People I know have really decided to turn off computer screens or phone screens early, and that helps them a lot. I probably should try that too, because getting good quality sleep really is a foundation for everything else you do. Food is up here. Sleep though, really that bedrock foundation under everything. So we want to make sure we're getting good nutrition, but we also want to make sure we're getting proper sleep. All right, third set. This is our last set for this exercise. So I'm trying to do 3 sets of these because right now I have been eating more calories. So because of that, my body can recover from more work. So that means I can do more sets in the gym to build more muscle faster. 6, now I'm still trying to keep good quality reps even on this last set. 7, even though I'm more fatigued now. 8, I have to spend more focus on that. 9, and 10. The easiest time to have form breakdown is on your last set. So if you're liking these sort of workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to be here live so you can talk, ask questions, tell me what you're doing. I'd love to hear about what workout you're doing, what's working well for you. If you're here, want to be here, joining me on this fitness journey, I'm working to get a 6-pack by 40. Now I'm 38, so it's a long-term goal, but just one workout at a time, building muscle, burning away fat. Really, the workout's more about building muscle than burning fat, but that's actually a common misconception people have, and I had for a long time too, is that I needed to work out harder to lose weight. The thing that really helped me lose weight was controlling what I ate, really logging what I ate. And before I was journaling everything I ate, I'll talk about this more next time, I think, but before I was journaling and recording everything I ate, I would eat actually too little, and that would cause me a burnout and then go from too little to too much. I'll talk about that more though next time. Most people don't think about that, about how eating too little actually can be a difficult thing for your body too, and can slow down your physique development. So now we just did our rows and pec flies. Now we're gonna emphasize that vertical press. This is working that deltoid and the tricep, and we're gonna pair it with a bicep curl exercise. We're working both sides of the arm. So for this, I'm already pretty warmed up, so I'm just gonna go straight into it. I'm gonna bring the dumbbells to the outside of my shoulder. The more my elbows are out, the more I'm working that top of the shoulder. The more they're forward, the more I'm working my tricep in the back of the arm. So I like to have them right here on the outside of my shoulder, where my elbows are sort of at a 45 degree. Here, I'm going to push straight up towards the ceiling, feeling that work in the top of my shoulder. So I like to look up just slightly, so I'm not rounding towards the front. I'm trying for 10 reps. 9, and 10. And now, I'm gonna pair this with a wall curl. The wall curl works that biceps brachii, that bicep muscle in the front of your arm. I'm gonna bring my head and my hips flat against the wall. So I'm leaning back, flat against that wall. From here, I'm gonna bring my elbows tucked into my sides. You can see how my hands are a little bit forward from my body. It's gonna keep the tension on the bicep the whole time. If they're back here, I lose all that tension at the bottom. If I'm here, I keep that tension. So from here, I'm gonna try and bring the dumbbells up to the front of my shoulders 10 times. So that's 1 rep. Should feel this in my upper arm. The wall stops you from swinging, so I'm not using my hips at all. I'm using only that bicep. You should feel that burning in your upper arm. 10. So wall curl is building that bicep in here. And then the overhead press is building that tricep and shoulder, that ball of muscle called the deltoid around the shoulder. I want to have bigger shoulders, so that's why I'm really emphasizing that vertical press to widen out my shoulder. The other thing is, as people get older, they stop doing stuff overhead, like lifting up things like boxes or putting stuff on high shelves. And so they lose this strength up here. So this is good for physique, it's good for health, for shoulder mechanics, for just being able to maintain that shoulder strength up here. So whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, 50, 60, doesn't matter. I do a vertical press, keep that shoulder healthy. So going from here, I'm gonna take just a minute more. My shoulders are still burning. So I'm gonna give myself just another 30 seconds to a minute, because I don't wanna be limited by the metabolism of my shoulder. Something that I found, or that I've started doing recently, is upping my creatine, which if you don't know what creatine is, that is part of the molecule of the quick energy in your muscle. It's called ATP-PCR, or ATP phosphocreatine, and it is a supplement you can take. It's found in food, but you can also take it as a supplement to add to the amount of energy you can store in your muscle. So that helps with that in between set, coming back and being able to keep on working. This is set number 2. Trying for at least 3 sets. If I can, I want to get to 4 sets on this. Pushing straight up towards the ceiling, back to the top of the shoulder. Now, I don't want to come halfway and then back up. I want to go all the way back to my shoulders so that I have the highest tension in my muscle that I'm trying to work. And that happens down here, not up here. So this is the most important part, is getting all the way back down. And 10. A lot of people think it's actually the going up that's the most important part. It's actually the coming down. So if you're liking this content and want to see more, if you like the sort of workout that we're doing here, doing multiple sets to really build up muscle mass, build bigger, stronger muscles, then hit that like button for me to let me know you want more content like this. Going back into that curl, elbows tucked in at your sides, going straight out towards the front. Trying to do this without bringing my head or hips off the wall. Oh, and I'm always trying to go all the way back down to where my arm is almost completely straight. I don't have to lock it, but to where it's straightened, where I feel that maximum tension right in that bicep muscle. Excuse me. So that was set 2, got 2 more to go. So especially because right now, like I said, I'm working on 5 hours sleep. Normally I'd be able to go right into the next exercise a little bit faster, but today I have more fatigue just systemically from not sleeping. So that's affecting the workout for sure. So I know for me, I'm gonna need to prioritize sleep, getting to bed at an earlier time. I don't know if you guys have this where you are, but this week we had a time change where the clock shifted an hour. And so I'm still adjusting to that and my body doesn't quite know what to do. And that affects the workout, because if I lose that hour, because I'm waking up earlier but still going to bed at the same time, and it will have an impact. It'll up that cortisol, lower that testosterone, and that has a lot of chemical effects in your body. It also just makes it so things don't recover as quickly. So my muscles still are a little bit more sore than they would normally be, but I'm gonna try and do as much as I can, then get good sleep over the week. So doing vertical press, 10 reps. and 10. You should feel the burning in the top of your shoulder. Working these muscles, should feel that burning feel. And that's actually a good thing. That means you're metabolically challenging the muscle, and that's gonna help it to grow. If you get to 10 and you feel like, man, I could do another 5 of these, that's okay. Do the 5 then. Keep on going until you feel tired in the muscle, especially if you only have 1 dumbbell, and you might need to, instead of increasing the weight, increase the reps. And that's okay. That will get you to the same muscle building as long as you are still challenging the muscle. That's something I like about these though. This is an adjustable dumbbell that I have. I have a link down below if you're interested, that it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you any extra, but if you want to have gear like what I have, these are a really good adjustable dumbbell that are easy to switch between weight, where you can just click it to the next weight and you're all good to go. And it's a lot cheaper than buying a lot of different dumbbells. So I think it was half as expensive to buy an adjustable dumbbell. So a much better deal. But if you have something that works for you, that's totally great. I'm just saying, if you want to have this particular set, there are links down below. I just did that. We're gonna do wall curls. Getting ahead of myself. So on the wall curl, elbows tucked in. I don't want my hands flayed out here. I want to try and keep them in front, where I'm directly putting that tension on that bicep. So bring up to the front of the shoulder and then back down. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Oh. So that was set number 3. We've got one more set, and then we'll do some leg exercises to finish out. Especially as I go through the workout, what can happen is your heart rate can climb steadily as you're having to cool off, as you're having to circulate more blood to your skin to actually cool your skin. I know for me, that temperature is the biggest limiter of my workout. I can overheat. That's why I drink water, make sure I stay cool, have a fan going, something to help keep my body from overheating, as opposed to having muscle building. So I don't want to be heat limited. I want to be limited by my muscle, and that way I'm growing my muscle as fast as possible. Another thing that helps me with that is taking a minute before. I used to just go straight from one exercise to the other, and that is fine, that's great, but I can actually limit myself by doing that, because instead of being limited by my muscle, I'm limited by my heart and my ability to stay cool. So last set, doing overhead press. 1, 2, 3, and I'm trying to keep good technique all the way 4 through this entire movement. 5, so I'm going all the way up, all the way down, especially all the way down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And taking one more minute. If you're liking this content and want to see more, if you want to be here live from when we do these, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. Lets me know you want more content like this. And it also, I'd love to talk with you, talk about where your goals are. For if your goals are like mine, or if you want to join me in the goal that I have of building up arms and building more muscle mass. Right now I'm actually trying to bulk and increase that. So if you have that goal too, hit subscribe and be here live so we can talk about that and encourage one another on in that goal. All right, going for our last set of wall curls. Head and hips against the wall, elbows tucked in at your sides, the arms are in front, and then curling up to the front of your shoulder. Now, if you can't get 10 reps on this last set, that is okay. Do as many as you can. Remember, the goal is to feel tired in your arm, not to hit a particular rep count. It's more of a guideline. 9 and 10. Now, it should feel like that burning in the front of your bicep. Like if you try and tense up, it should feel hard to tense up right now because the muscle's so tired. That's a good sign that you actually work that muscle, you hit that muscle fatigue, and that's what's going to help it grow. Now we're going to move down to legs. Now for legs, I like to do a dumbbell squat. So you're going to have your dumbbells at your sides, feet about shoulder width apart with your toes toes pointed straight towards the front. So from here, I'm going to bend my knees so I'm like I'm sitting down in a chair, going all the way down to where my dumbbells are just above the ground. Trying to keep my back straight, bending those knees. I'm gonna do as many reps as I can where I feel that burning in the front of my thigh, in those quad muscles. I like doing a lighter dumbbell on this and then having more reps, because that way I don't feel it as much in my low back. I still feel that quad muscle, that muscle in the top of my thigh, having to engage and work. I'm just going until I feel that burning in my thigh, that fatigue building up. 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Now it's important you don't let your knees come together like this. Keep those knees out in line with your toe. Now, that primarily work these muscles here in front of the thigh. Now we're gonna work the glutes in the back, the butt, and some of those hamstrings in the back of the thigh. So for that, we're gonna do a hip bridge, but we're gonna modify it to make it a little more challenging. So a normal hip bridge is 2 feet, pushing down, bridging your hips up. If this is challenging, you can do 2 feet like this. So doing 10 reps, pushing up, engaging those hips. For a lot of people, that is not challenging enough, or if you need it to be more challenging, I should say, bring 1 foot up into the air. So you don't want it crossed necessarily. I like to have it like this, bent, because I'm engaging my core as well as my glutes, or this side I should say, doing as well as my glutes by pushing down, bridging up. So I'm pushing, I should feel that tense up in the back of my hips. Pushing down through my heel, trying for 10 reps each side. And same thing on the other side, lifting up this foot, pushing down through your heel, bridging your hips up. Now it might be harder on one side than the other. So if that's the case, start with the harder side. Because if it's harder on one side, we want to make sure we can match the reps. Start with the weaker side, do 10, 12, 13 reps, however many you're gonna do, and then match it on your stronger side. So a good way to tell if you're right-handed, start with your left leg. If you're left-handed, start with your right leg. I usually do 2 sets of legs right now because that's about how much I can recover from, or I'm not still sore the next time I need to do legs. Eventually, I want to have more sets of legs, but for right now, 2 sets I found works well for me. Sorry, I'm not talking that much. At this point in the workout, all the blood is out of my brain into my legs. Not really all blood, but it is harder to think because working out is actually cognitively tired. It's tired to your brain, to your nerves. And so a lot of people don't realize the mental benefits of working out because it actually does affect your brain, affects your body, your neural chemistry to work out. So some people do it entirely just for the mental effects of working out, even if they're not going for the physical. And that is totally fine. That's part of what this all does. You know, if I stop working out, I start to feel more antsy, more just uneasy, or more like I have too much energy and I need to dial it back because it hasn't been used up by working out. So, going for 1 more set of squat. So grabbing a dumbbell in each hand is at your side, feet about shoulder width apart, with your toes and knees pointing in the same direction. So from here, you're gonna bend your knees, keeping your back straight. So I wanna try and keep my chest pointed towards the front and bending those knees, sitting down, or acting like I'm sitting down in a chair or a stool. I'm going until I feel tired in my legs. And last set, doing hip bridges. So if you're liking this workout and wanna see more, hit that subscribe button and you can be here live to talk about what you're working on, or if I can help in any way, let me know. So I'm gonna start with my left leg on this one. So I'm right-handed, so pushing down through my heel, bridging my hips up to the front, working the glutes, the hamstring, these muscles in the back of the thigh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Same thing other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax. So if you like this sort of content and want to see more, hit that like button for me. lets me know you want more content like this, and it helps support the channel, so thank you so much. Hope to see you next time.